This is a tutorial on that building. In class, last Tuesday, we explained the other one, the one in Switzerland. And today I'm going to do the same. I'm going to work with the foundations and with the roof shape using this building. So I think it's quite easy, but anyway, we will work with this. Well, first analyze the building. You see the footprint here. So there's like a concrete slab. There's always a concrete um, on the ground. Okay, so we can have wood directly on the ground. We have a steel structure. We will turn this into a wood structure, not today. And then we have this roof. So we're going to use the same kind of roof that we did for for the other one, or probably we'll try something different here. Yeah, I think we'll try something different. And we have to start with the foundations. If you look at the section of this building, here we have the ground level, like here. Then this is slightly above. Okay, so yeah, so you see how we have like a foot between the ground level and the slab where the structure begins. And the footprint is the same as the roof. I think we have this overhanging the roof and we have the same slab around the structure. We can import this. So I'm going to open Photoshop. Oh, this is the file in Photoshop. By the way, look at this. This is nice if you're looking for the title block. So this is all we need. I think this is a student work, so you can copy. This is the key plan. So you see where the section is taken from, and you see that roof, and here you have a logo, which is, it has to do with the section of the building. And here you have the title, and you have like, I don't know what this is, but you can think of something like this. It's simple and elegant. I like it for the title block. I'm going to save this section as a JPG. Okay, section, save. And once I have saved this section, I'm going to insert. Oh, first we have to talk about the title block. Okay, the scope box. Sorry. So this is the scope box. I recommend you. I don't know if it's already done, but I recommend you. Okay, these grid lines are attached to the box, but in this case, levels are not. Okay, so you can attach these to scope box. That's not in the scope box. Okay, so that one doesn't intersect the scope box, so you have to move it down, and now you can. Yeah, okay, that's better because in all the views, the levels and the grid lines are visible and adapted to the size of the building. So the scope box has to be bigger than the building or the area we're working with, and that's fine. So here we have the footprint, and so in order to get this footprint, we can work probably with reference planes. Yeah, so we can do this in different ways, but let's work with a different reference plane. And I think we can take this reference plane, I don't know, because apparently we need an offset. So the distance between the grid line to this reference plane would be the same in the perimeter. So I don't know, let's move it. How much? 10 feet. 10. Okay. 10 feet works well. And don't remember to name this reference plane. So if this is north, we can say this is north elevation. And yeah, we can associate this to the scope box. And then I think that works well. And now we are working with reference planes. Here, move it 10 feet. Associate the reference plane to the scope box and name it. This is northeast. And yeah, we need the south. Move it 10 south. Associate to the scope box and the west. Right. West and scope box. Oh, and move it. Okay, so now this reference plane is uh, the the footprint of the building, the roof and the slab, the floor slab. Be careful because here we have grid lines, we have the scope box, and we have reference plane. So I think we should work with the three entities, the grid line, the reference plane, the scope box, but make sure that you are selecting the right thing anytime. Now we have to analyze the section. So in the section, we see that there's a concrete wall with a footing around the building. We are going to work with a different level here. So all the footings will be at the same level. I think it's easier. So there's another concrete wall here where at the end of this slab. And then we have, these are not walls, I think they are columns. So this is probably, it's a steel column. I would do this with concrete. I would start the wood structure here as of the concrete slab, and I would do this with concrete and the footing. Okay, so there will be columns. This will be a wall with a wall footing, and those would be columns with isolated footings, and that would be another tiny wall, retaining wall with other footing here. Okay, let's do this. But first, we have to work with the section. And we are going to work with this section. Yep, in the section we see the grid lines. I think this is not associated to the scope box. Now it's better. These are the reference planes. This is scope box, and these are the grid lines. And we have to insert the picture section here. I don't want to crop the view. And now we have to work with levels. So first we will work with grid lines. So grid line A would be here. So this is in the middle of this structural element. And now grid line D would be there. So we have to scale, we have to make the drawing smaller. And let's do it. I think we need a reference line here, a model line. Pick a plane. This is grid 1. And now we need a line here in the middle of this wall. Yeah. We don't see it. Why? Because grid 1 is here and we are looking at this direction. So I think I will change this view and now we see. We should be able to see this. We don't see that. Why? Because, okay, because this section is only here. So if we extend this box up to beyond grid 1, I think we will see it. Yeah. So this is the line now. Be careful because now the grid A is this one, is to the on the right, and grid D is there. So we needed this reference line. We just have to select the picture, scale, and now this is the first point. The second point is the reference line here, and now the third point is the grid number, grid D. Yep. There you go. And now we can delete this line. So now this, okay, so the structural elements and the grids are matching. And now we need to work with levels. So what is level 0? We don't have level -10, so that will be level -3 or 4, because this is a crawl space, it's not a basement. So first we have to move this down to level 0. Yeah, something like that. And this level now, we have to move it. So this is -4. Okay, I rename that level -4. Would you like? Yes. And now we have all these levels. We can make, okay, so I will lower this level up to this because I assume that all the openings will be at the same distance. And then we need just to move this above so that I have a good view, level 24. And I don't think I need level 36. Okay, this is not 24 now, just to make it simple, 28 and 28. And this is level 11 inches, 11 feet 2 inches. Yes. I think with all these reference lines and reference planes, we can start modeling the building. First, we need the retaining wall. So the retaining wall goes from level -4 to level 0. We can go to level 0, and we need a, a retaining wall all around the building footprint. Okay, so from grid 1 until grid 17, and from grid A to grid T. So let's do this. Structure, wall, retaining, and now, yep. I will have to start on level, well, I will fix this later. Or now the wall levels. It's from level -4, top constraint level 0, and no offset. Let's turn to the 3D view. And yeah, it looks tiny because it's a very long building. Now we need the wall footings, so we can select all the walls and apply. I think I have selected. Okay, I have selected this scope box. Now I can apply the wall footings. Do we have wall footings? Okay. Yep. And now on this grid, we need concrete columns, again from level -4 to level 0. Let's see if we have structural columns. We do have concrete columns. The size 12 by 12 is a foot by a foot. Yeah, for here we have only one level. So it's, yeah, so 12 by 12 should be enough. What would I do now? I would select add grids. And if I select all these grids and click finish, at the intersections there will be columns. Yep. The problem is the level now, because now it goes from level -4 to level 0. Great, it's the first time that happens, that Revit does what I want it to do. Okay. The next step now is the isolated footings and the slab, the ground floor slab. So let's go to structure, isolated footings. Yeah, this is different. We don't have to pick, we don't have to select the element, we have to place the footing. So I would do this on level 0 again. And I can select isolated footings, and I can place one here. And yep, but I want, let's see what I have done. Okay. Technically, it's on level 0 with an offset of -4. I would feel better if we type the level -4 without an offset. Yeah, I think that would be better. And now we can, we don't see this here. What about the 3D view? I think we can use the array. How many? And I will move to last. How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think it's 17. If it's not, I'll find out. 17. Move to last. This is the first point. And this is the last. Let's see what happens. Okay, I didn't count well. How many are if I change the array? I think it will be 18. So let's array 18 last. This is the first point. And this is last. No. Yeah, I think it's 16, not 18. Oh. So let's type here 16. Okay, if you select the array and you change this number, it's 16, probably it's 15. Yeah, so 15 works. And now we can do the same. Okay, I will copy this footing here, there, and then I will click array. Now I know it's 15. Moving to the last, this is the first point. This is the last. Yep, it works. And finally, I need a beam. Yeah, I need a beam. I need a concrete beam, concrete rectangular beam, 12 by 24, 12 by, well, let's try this one and see what happens. Because I want to connect all the footings, the wall and the isolated footings. Let's see on the 3D what I've done. Yep, we have to make sure that the footing is, usually it's bigger than the beam. And so the footing is this one, so we have to make the beam thinner. Let's edit type, I duplicate, and let's make it a 12 by 12. And this is 1 foot. Yeah. And now we can copy all these beams. Well, the 3D view. We can copy this. Well, we can create another array now that we know that there are 15. From move to the last, and this is the first. This is the last. And go. Do we need another line in this direction? I don't think so. Apparently, looking at the section, we do have these beams, you see. But we don't have a beam going in this direction. Yeah, so we can leave it this way. So after this, we need the slab on level 0, and we're using the reference planes now. So we can select a structure, a floor, structural floor. As we can see here, it looks like a metal deck. So we can use a metal deck, and then we can, it's just a rectangle, but making sure that we select the footprint. Would you like that? Yes. Okay. So there is a retaining wall. In the section, we see everything here. Okay, so we see the retaining wall. These are the footings, the wall footings. This is the beam. This is the wall, the isolated footing. And we don't have this, so we can have a tiny wall. I would move this wall up to this place. Yeah, up to this. I think it will be easier. And as you can see, it's slightly thinner. And here we have this is the drainage system. This is the end of the drainage system. Okay, we will work with details later, but let's move this here. And well, this is the tiny overhang. And as you can see, well, maybe it works. Having this overhang here, it's something good. Okay, let's do that. But let's make this up to this point. The footing level will be this one. And does it have to be thinner than this? Probably. because this is bearing the weight of the structural element, and here we don't have any structural element. So can we have a retaining wall made of concrete, but not as thick as this one? Maybe we can. Yeah, let's do it. Level 0, is it worth making another reference plane? I don't think so. So let's work with wall, structural. This is the retaining concrete wall. I'm going to edit type, and I'm going to duplicate first. And this is retaining. This is in metric units. I don't know your units. Here I have 300 millimeters. No, 300 millimeters. This is a foot, 30 centimeters. This is a foot. So I can say that this is half, 150 millimeters concrete. And if I edit this, this is 11. So let's make it, what's 6, 5. Let's make it 5. Okay, 5, 13, 16ths. It's almost a half foot. Okay. And okay. And I'm going to make this wall here, yeah, close to this point here. And now let's let's do this, and then we will try to have the same distance all around the perimeter, because it will look better. I'm going to trim this, and now let's try to find the distance between okay, 3 feet, and this distance should be 3 feet too, and this is 3. And this is 3. Okay. Now on the section view, oh, this wall doesn't show up because it's here. Great. Ugh. We have to change the level. -4 up to level 0 with no offset. And there's still one. Yeah, this one. Okay. And now the wall footing, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Look at the section. But we can move this slightly. Yeah, I think it's fine. Okay, so we're almost there. Now we only have to work with the roof shape. This is pretty straightforward. We can start working with, if we're looking this way, we can start working at this reference plane. This is west, okay? We can create a roof by roof by extrusion. here we have to edit type because we need at least an R50 roof with the same components we did last time. So if I remember well, it was a rigid insulation. Come on. Here, no, I want rigid insulation. I don't remember, it was 10 inches. And we will see the thermal resistance and why is it in rigid insulation. Then insert, here we have the membrane layer. Rigid insulation structure is thermal. Membrane layer is EPDM. We can insert a finish made of aluminum because we don't have zinc. Probably in material libraries, you can find other materials that it has to be something metallic, so aluminum would work well. This is very thin, 1/8. And finally, underneath the rigid insulation, we had the OSB or plywood. So I have to move it down. And this is another finish category, it's plywood. And 1 inch. I should have duplicated it. I didn't, so I'm sorry. Well, this is slightly different because here the rafters are embedded in this. So this is the structural element, and then we have this. I think we have something similar. I don't have the catalog here, but when we are preparing this catalog, we have the option of having a roof type with the rafters in that. That would be fine, but we're going to make it better. So we're going to have the main structural element, then the rafter. This is going to be an air cavity, and we're going to start the roof as of this point. Okay, so we're going to make this roof thicker, so we can start. Yeah, so we have this intersection. Yeah, why not? We can start at this intersection, and then we have to go with this slope. And I'm sure that there is a symmetry here, so we can always try to create this auxiliary line. And create a symmetry, a mirror here. Okay. Now there's another mirror there. So I'm going to create another auxiliary line here. Now I mirror select and mirror is another auxiliary line here and mirror this one. So now this is the midpoint. Okay, so as you can see, it's slightly different. I don't mind. Now this is my project, so I know that this beam will be here at this point, it won't be here. Now I can delete all these auxiliary lines. I have to trim all these elements, and I can click finish and save the project. This is it. Yep. Maybe it's a little higher, so I'm going to edit profile. I'm going to lower this. And then I have to do it again. Three auxiliary lines. And now mirror this one. And now I can mirror these two, this and this. Delete the auxiliary, trim, and go. Yeah, I think this is better. Well, I don't know if I have explained this. This plumb cut, we can cut it as a square or to cut plumb. Yes, I don't know. Square, no. And what's the difference between these two plumb? I don't know. So let's use the plumb cut. Yeah, I think it's the best option. Now on the 3D view, we have to make sure that this roof is aligned with the footprint. It's a long building. Yeah, so I think this is a slab footprint. Make it here and here. And yep. So this is the same thing that we did with the other building. The footings, the floor slab. Try to attach these to this wall. Okay, so you have to attach all this retaining wall to the, so that we don't see this. And we're all set.